Welcome back to another episode of Baljo Headquarters with guests Zach and Victor-san.
Pleasure to be here, boss.
Hello, fellow shinobi.
Picture this. Japan was like a lone samurai facing a world filled with giants in the 1930s. They were hit hard by the Great Depression. The prized silk export crashed. Unemployment skyrocketed, and Japan's leaders realized they were starving for resources. So they did what any ambitious anime protagonist would do. They started eyeing the power-ups across the sea.
Exactly. They had their eyes on the Manchuria, an area that glowed like a rare loot drop on the map, filled with coal and iron ore. They thought, if we can just seize that land, we'll have that energy to level up.
And thus, the generals and their shinobi soldiers geared up, armed with strategy, courage, and a whole lot of questionable decisions. They launched a stealthily anime-style raid on Manchuria, Naruto running the way to victory.
That's right. Manchuria had a large amount of natural resources that they thought was very effective to take.
Using Japan's soldiers, the army of Japan took control over the neighboring region of China. Furthermore, Japan had control over the South Manchurian Railway and had guards in the country to protect the line.
The silk market crashed. It was Japan's main export. Employment dropped by 30% in Japan, affected by the depression in the US.
The reason why Japan thought they could take over China is because they thought China was a weak country that couldn't govern itself. So Japan thought they could bring their shinobi ways to China.
But Japan didn't have a real reason to invade Manchuria. Wouldn't that be against the shinobi code?
Yes, it was exactly not the shinobi way. However, the great generals of the 1920s came up with a solution. They used a fake incident called the Mukden incident.
What's the Mukden incident? Great Ninja Zach.
The Mukden incident was a false flag event staged by the Japanese military where they blew up their own train and blamed it on China. This incident was their excuse to invade Manchuria, like how Madara Uchiha made his power moves.
What was the most significant about this incident, Johnson-chan?
It contributed to Japan's international isolation and is seen as a crucial event, leading it to the outbreak of World War II.
The plan was ambitious, almost like Japan was in an open world RPG. They thought they could just unlock neighboring territories one after another, but China wasn't a pushover. Soon, they found themselves in battles that took more than just shinobi tactics. They needed serious resources, which they didn't have enough of.
And then they met with an unexpected plot twist in the form of international pushback. The US and other nations saw Japan's expansion as a major red flag, and they weren't about to let that slide. Japan's quest had set off global alarms.
So Japan's strategy backfired, and instead of becoming the ultimate powerhouse, they ended up getting drawn into a battle they weren't ready for. Epic misstep, if you ask me.
However, the League of Nations intervened. Think of it as the Akatsuki on a world level. The League approached the Mukden incident like a new recruit on their first mission. Unprepared, lacking the skills needed, and too cautious to take a real stand. When Japan planted that explosive and used it as an excuse to invade Manchuria, the League didn't have resources or willpower to effectively respond. Without an army, they were like a shinobi without their kunai, defenseless and unable to strike back. Because they were so reluctant to take any action, they delayed the making of the lightened paper by 18 months in hope that the Japanese shinobis would leave. However, like the Naruto Sasuke fight, Sasuke did not leave and instead resorted to violence.
Using decisions from the world's top leaders, Japan decided they'd had enough of the League's interference. They declared, "You're too weak, unable to take any action, so we're out." By then, Japan was like a rogue ninja, already walking away and ignoring the world's disapproval.
Headquarters. See you next time.
Aww.